Hello and welcome to Golden Dice Podcast at PAX Unplugged 2025. Next to me, I have, if you're, not living under a rock, if you've been paying attention to the game, if you've watched us in the past, I have our very own Jack Ramel, community manager.
Yeah, here we are.
That's incredible.
We made it. We were just joking before we started that at PAX Unplugged last year, I interviewed Xander, and now here we are, which means next year, Flock will interview you, and you'll be at FFG if we're continuing the trend so far.
Fingers crossed, please, FFG. Cool. Very excited to sit down and talk with you. We just came back from the in-flight. There was a lot of cool stuff showing off, but
yeah.
Before we talk about that, let's talk about Set 6. So Set 6 has been out for almost nearly a month now. How are you feeling about the release, and what decks have you built from Set 6 that you're really enjoying right now?
Yeah, so if you know me, I put a lot of thought into what decks I play. So I pulled a Chancellor Palpatine showcase, and I pulled a Mon Mothma showcase. So the decks I have are Chancellor Palpatine and Mon Mothma and Quinlan Voss.
Be all faithful.
Because I'm not sure that I'll be at another event until A Lawless Time comes out.
Okay.
And so I was like, if I'm going to play Premier at these events, this will be the last opportunity to play. Quinlan, soft confirm he's not
right, exactly. Yeah, got you there. Hard-hitting journalism. I was paying attention to that one for sure.
It's funny though. I have to mention it so it gets out of my head. But it popped into of you going like the joke of you interviewing Flock next year and you being FFG. Could you imagine if the marketing team at FFG for Star Wars Unlimited was me, you, and Flock? Just what a crew that would be.
That would be amazing. And personally, if anyone from FFG that is watching,
a marketing manager position is open.
All right, let me take this mic off. Cool. Yeah, no, I've been really enjoying Set 6 personally, and I think there's some really cool stuff in there. Not crazy about spies. I have to say it, but
it's been a lot of fun. I think one of my favorite things too, even is just like the leader flip in the game has always been just like one of the most exciting times like of it. Your deck is generally built around that card that is on the board the whole time, and now you get to deploy them. And so adding plots just makes that like so much more fun as well. Like flipping Quinlan and playing Sudden Ferocity on him, and now he's like a 6/7, or some of the 6 deploy leaders like Anakin or Boba or Luke Pilot, like the ability to flip and do the Sintakaz unit to attack. And so it's like there's just a lot of things going on now on the deploy turn that necessarily wasn't there. There's always this scariness of doing that, but it goes especially well once we get in a rotation. I think Secrets of Power really, you'll go back to the set in the future and be like, wait, this is a really good card for what I want to do.
Yeah, I've noticed that the plots have been especially feeling really great, but I think that they're going to be even better when rotation hits. I think the game's going to be a totally different situation, and we're going to talk about that a little later. But
yeah,
how do you feel that the Set 6 spoiler and hype season, when I know we were talking about it being a little shorter, a little more compact this season, do you feel like the pacing was correct? Do you feel like any particular things hit or missed for the set?
I was really happy with the compression of it. I feel like that going from our typical 8 weeks to 6 weeks, I was happy with that pace. There was definitely some things that I would like to restructure changing around some weeks. There were a few that I wasn't like really happy with, but now me having like full control going into A Lawless Time, I'm having some conversations with, bringing John and Joe, the lead designers on the set, talking about what makes sense. I'm going to talk with some of the developers, so the Miles brothers, with George, talking about like, what makes sense for what pairings and stuff like that. Because obviously I'm trying to play catch up on what is the set, and then also whether thematic things that we can hit. What are the really good things? What are the like fun things like that? It's a lot to process for me, but they've been playing these cards for a long time, so it'll be easier to bring them in and like talk through that. But happy with the 6 weeks. You will see 6 weeks return. Nothing like drastically different, but I want to mold out this season a little closer to what I want it to be. And then we'll go from there of like what we can do in the future for Ashes and Homeworlds.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a really a great team. Super, super awesome. Hard-hitting. Everyone that we've seen on stream is just a likable character. I think that we're in really good hands. And basically what you're saying is anything that goes wrong, we can blame you specifically.
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect.
Not if you don't like a card, that doesn't have to do with me. If you don't like the timing of things, Yeah, then you can come chat with me a little bit.
Perfect. Well, I'll be chatting with you regardless. But I've seen a lot of chatter online regarding the power level of the Secrets Powers legendaries, kind of feeling flat compared to previous sets. What do you think about that? Do you think that maybe some people are just yet to unlock the secrets of power, or the combinations that's not out there? Do we think that with rotation coming up, they might kind of shift and see more of a place in the meta?
Yeah, I think especially with that, it's been tough because there was a change in philosophy halfway through the game. So it's almost like sets 1 and 2, and to an extent 3 are separate from Jump to Lightspeed, Legends of the Force, and Secrets of Power. So it's like the tension of that existing before rotation happens. We're living in that time period right now. And you see that in regards to some of the legendaries. Some of them will find some good homes once we talk about rotation, but we are living in that in-between world of we changed how we wanted the game to operate a little bit and the stat lines and where the meaning of the plays came from. And we're just seeing that shift into this. And one of the best examples that I really give isn't necessarily legendary, but when you talk about this, I know everybody goes legendaries and leaders. People are, they're in the same conversation. But Jabba the Hutt, wonderful human being from Secrets of Power. He's like my always go-to. I think right now the Vigilance Villainy is like very crowded. Even just having Kira from Shadows is going to be hard to push her out of that role. But once we get into like a metagame or just a game in general where your units matter a lot more and things happen through that a lot more, rather than just simple removal events, those still exist, right? We're not saying they don't go away, but a lot of what you're doing with your units will matter more. And from there, Jabba becomes such an excellent option post-rotation. So it's like a similar thing now with some of those legendaries. I think they'll be able to find a home, once rotation hits, and you lose a lot of what you're used to. So.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot about rotation coming up. But that's interesting. I do have a question about that as far as set 7's coming on the horizon. I know we just talked set 6
just had the in-flight,
right?
Yep.
But the in-flight just came out. Set 7's on the brain. Is there anything that you're looking to immediately track as far as on the horizon as far as suspension list goes? Is there anything on your radar that might pop up once rotation is a thing, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything specific on the team's mind. Obviously, there's been some really good cards that have been printed. I know community. I am in like 15 different Discords, and I read them all, and so I know where the community is with things, and I relay the information. So, I know, like for example, people are worried with pilots from Jump to Lightspeed, right? Yeah, we're losing cards like Bamboozle, we're losing Disabling Fang Fighter, but we did gain the Outer Rim, the Constable.
Yes.
So like there are things that still exist, but we do hear that, but there's nothing that we would want to do before that. If something gets too crazy, also towards the end of Secrets of Power, it's still one of those things where it's like a whole new set is coming, 3 sets are leaving type thing. So I don't think there's anything we're looking at too hard, but obviously if things become toxic and there's real degenerate play styles, our development team, Ryan, Aaron, and George do such a great job of being able to work through some of that. And so, we'll have those conversations, but right now I wouldn't feel like there's anything that I would want you to be like, hey, watch this card, dude. Keep your mind on this card.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a good answer. It definitely sparks hope, I'm super excited for rotation, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But set 7. Oh my goodness gracious. The in-flight just happened. There was a lot of good nuggets that just dropped. And the biggest of those, I think, in my opinion, was the triple aspect art.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And the first thing I saw was Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb unit.
With a lot of those, on one play, if you have a green and a yellow, while he's red and blue and hero. And my first thought was, oh, great, just in time for Hera to go away. Can we expect to see some leaders that might accommodate this gigantic change, or?
Yeah, and you'll even see in the first look article, there's the common bases, which will be the draft bases as well. So this is going to be a really fun set for draft. And you'll see that they have
epic
action where you can play a card ignoring the aspect penalty on one of the aspects. And so it's like this ability, or I think it's actually all the aspects. I'm trying to think of the wording right now.
I think it's without the hero and villainy, but Yeah, I just took a quick look at the article a while ago, but
but it's that way that you'll be able to. So if your deck is mainly cunning and command, then Zeb could be the card that you play, with the base or like
right.
things like that. But there are definitely,
Also, those ignore multiple at a time.
I believe so. I mean, I even now want to. You got me questioning myself. I'm like, what is the wording on this? We just sat through the in-play, and it's just
There's a ton going on. I know.
It's been a lot of information.
Yeah,
It's like we're back on Golden Dice, just looking up what does that card do?
It's fantastic.
Yeah, you can ignore one of its vigilance, command, aggression, or cunning aspect combos.
Okay.
So you would still be heroism, but Zeb, you maybe only play 2 extra, or maybe you are a cunning and aggression, but now you can ignore the vigilance aspect on him in that regard.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know your question was specific to leaders as well, and I mean, we saw with DJ that the mold can be broken, and
sure,
so things are possible.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's very exciting, and I think especially now in time for rotation, that's a really, really cool change.
Yeah.
We also saw a new mechanic in the credit tokens.
Yeah.
And it looks like from the article there was an event that creates a credit token. How do we anticipate this is going to change the pace of the game? Those big units with a discount coming out a turn early. We've seen things like another Hans. Discounting things and things coming out early, and I think that could definitely change the tide of the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting dynamic now, because when we talk about ramp, when you talk about Super Laser Technician unit, when we talk about Resupply event, Spark of Hope event, whatever else there might be that I can't think of at the moment. But those cards, when you ramp with them, your leader also deployed faster, whereas credit tokens do not apply. So if you have 4 resources and 1 credit token, you cannot deploy your 5-cost lead. So there's that regard. And so I think it opens up us to have the ability to push the envelope in that regard and let John and Joe loose a little bit on that end, because ramp became so effective in this game when your leader was tied to when you deployed.
Right.
And so having that freedom to let people still have the ability to ramp, but while that doesn't necessarily increase the leader, I think can create some interesting spaces. And of course, there's going to be some interaction. It's a token, right? So something that can be interacted with, like shields, experience, things like that. So you'll see some ways to combat that. It's not just going to be once you have it or your opponent has it, they're going to have free reign to wait to use it. There's always going to be that risk that it gets interacted with as well.
Interesting. Okay. I think that's a great balance. I'm really excited for that one. That's pretty cool.
I played again, a little teaser for future things, but it was a Twin Sons game, and I was playing against Logan. I think we were all at 6 resources, and he was at 13 with
13
so 6 regular resources and then 7 credits.
7 credits.
He didn't have a board, but all of us were like, something's going on over there.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I think that's awesome. I really am excited for rotation to kind of shake up the game, and I think that's exactly what we want. So let's get into rotation now that we're talking about it. With A Lawless Time coming out in March, Swoo's looking at its first rotation cycle. How do you anticipate this is going to contribute to the overall pace, feel of the game?
I think it's going to go really well. I think people really enjoy just I talked a little bit about the interaction between units. Like you see, even the Lando Calrissian unit legendary, right? Like he comes in, he interacts with the board. It's not going to be, some things that we are used to. Some of the rare bases will be gone, so it'll be a lot more fair in that regard.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
And so we'll have that coming with rotation, and I think the game will feel like a good flow. I've almost reminded a bit of when you first started. Obviously, the power levels is a lot higher, but thinking when you first tried the game, there's a lot of unit interaction because we were still learning and things like that. You weren't sure when to take trades, when not to, stuff like that. And so I'm not saying the game is lowered in its ability or anything like that. Sure. It just feels like you're having these epic battles on a battlefield with your leaders, going out and doing these things, having your units do that. And the pace feels very good.
Right. Yeah, speaking on that, something I'm concerned about regarding rotation, and you said that kind of more of a unit trading situation instead of removal-based situation. Some of the removal that's getting taken out in this rotation cycle, Power of the Dark Side, Fell the Dragon, Rivals, Takedown, Merciless, Perilous Position, Bamboozle, Confiscate, just to name a few.
Yeah.
How do we, especially with the introduction of plots, how do we kind of figure out the balance of making these leaders kind of not unstoppable gods, especially pilots, like we were saying before.
Yep.
How do you think we're gonna tackle that issue.
Get good.
Fair enough. That's valid.
No, there's obviously going to be some interactions with things there, and you'll even see like the Boba Fett unit was just revealed.
Boba 7.
I believe in the trailer. Yeah, a unit.
The seventh.
But like he is, I believe, a 5-cost unit, 6 power, 5 HP, but you could pay an extra when you play him to like deal damage to something else. So it's like moments like that where you're still playing cards, you have a unit on the board, but now you did damage to something to help whittle it down. And yeah, it won't be as quick hits as before. You don't have to worry about deploying your leader and then getting power of the dark side, right? There's going to have to have more interactions in that regard, a lot more trading of units and using them to whittle away at stuff. But I mean, there's going to be some powerful like removal spells, removal things too. So I don't want to downplay that. I don't want anybody to walk away from this thinking like, all right, you're never going to be able to defeat anything unless it's with a unit. Like, no, those options will still be there, but we just don't, I say we, I'm not a designer as well, but it's just conversations with them. They want the game to be played with units, with abilities and doing things like that. So it's just important for them to have that note.
Sure. We already kind of touched upon the pilot leaders and that last answer, so we won't go there. But something else that came from the in-flight is that the new Twin Suns Precon decks just got announced.
Yeah.
That was Dooku and Asajj, Anakin and Padme, Ahsoka and Rex, and Asajj and Maul.
Yep.
Wow. Yep. That's super cool. That's a cool array of leaders. I'm super excited for the combos in general. You could hear it in the crowd. There was like, oh, let's go. Woo, woo, woo. I wanted to ask you about the legality of those leaders. Are we going to be able to see those in Premiere at all?
Not Premiere.
Okay.
These...
they're built towards Twin Suns, that they mentioned. I know that, but I have to ask. I do love me some...
No, I agree. Yeah.
Savage,
It'll be legal in Twin Suns and Eternal. And so Eternal format, we'll get to that of more details as we get closer to, but they'll be legal in Twin Suns, but not in Premiere. And I am fully expecting you to buy both of the villain ones and then play Savage Asajj.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If anybody thrown back to the Destiny days,
we have to do it. I have to do it.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for those. Twin Suns is one of my favorite things to do during the week. So second to last question. I actually skipped one for set 7. I'm going to go back for a second.
Yeah.
Very excited. I'm so excited. Which leader and card in general are you most excited for? You could say the color combination, or the number, or whatever have you.
Leader.
Okay.
2.
Okay. All right.
And then for a card in a deck, 80.
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down.
All right. I'm going to come back and see if you're right on the money with that one. The last question that I want to ask you, I think, is pretty fitting for me as a person who consumes a lot of Star Wars content and also consumes a lot of Star Wars product.
Yep.
With the Carbonite boxes.
Yeah.
I'm a very big fan of the Carbonite edition boxes. If you on the channel have seen me before or in our Discord talk about them.
6 for 6.
6 for 6 this set. Yeah, I got 6 showcases and 2 serialized out of 6 boxes this set. Woo-hoo!
And a showcase from a regular box. Or regular case.
Yes, in a regular case. I got my Palpatine. Super excited about that.
Yeah.
How do you think they've been received by the public 1 year in? Is there any whisper of changes or modifications to going forward to accommodate public feedback?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been a hit. People are very excited to have the prestigious. People love the artwork. I mean, I think we're coming off Secrets of Power, and generally the talk that I've seen, at least, and that is that the propaganda and the renegade treatments are people's favorite that they've done, that we have done so far. So really encouraging in that sense. And we understand that there is some feedback and concerns of distribution and we're watching those things, and so there will be a little bit of carbonite at the in-flight. Wes did mention too that there will be some changes coming to PAX. That'll be regular and carbonite. Some changes, nothing too drastic and nothing I can really get into details yet, but some small tweaks that'll start to move us in a direction that I think the community is going to be very happy with.
Yeah, I believe it. No, well, that's all we got. Short, sweet, simple. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you check out the Wednesday streams, that's where you can find Jack. I mean, I'll let you do your own plug. Sorry, I'm just. I gotta adjust to the whole
It's like my first interview plug where I've not been talking about Golden Dice of these social medias. Community manager is my title. If you have seen Xander in the past, I mean, I'm sure most people watching Golden Dice at this point know what has happened or saw my farewell video. But Xander moved to marketing manager, and then now even has moved yet again, and he's the organized play program manager. And I am the community manager for TCGs now. So I run the live stream, social media, work with creators, come to events like this to help run those things. This weekend, keeping John Leo in line, making sure he shows up to his schools and signings and all that stuff. And the Viper Probe Droid guy is, I think that's in my job description anymore.
I don't know what you want me to do with this. Oh, Foxen said that Jack is going to show us a very special spoiler.
Oh, yeah, I brought a card for all of us to see. Any guesses?
I couldn't tell you.
How many aspects? How many do you think?
14.
14?
14.
Wow. Look at that.
Sold
crazy.
Even at PAX Unplugged.
Crazy. Bye, Tyler.
Well, Jack, thanks for joining us. We're gonna have to have you back on the podcast again, since it's
I was glad to do content with you where it wasn't me just sitting there watching you open showcases and reliving the pain of opening boxes side by side with you.
It's so funny that so Tyler's gotten really into shorts, and now we're just kind of riffing, but now Tyler's gotten really into shorts, and every short that he made of me pulling a showcase, I could hear you get more and more like, you can't keep getting away with it.
It's like that one meme of like the kid, like, real happy for you. That's so cool. Congratulations.
So cool. Happy for you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I appreciate you having me. I mean, it's definitely like weird knowing I did this interview with Xander last year and now here we are, but it's awesome.
It's super weird. You can expect to have Flock interview me next time. So until then, catch you the next time.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks.
Bye.